Yebo yes usanjalo ku Queen of the Palace ukuthi ngifuma nomusa phambi kwakho ngathola ngaze ngaqoka ingubo embalabala njengo Josepha ngibheke njalo nje ukwenza intando yakho kanti ke sikuyilona ke lelo hora 1 o'clock ihola lo lani le2 le hola rokuqala ntambama yeah la sithi khona we are living a victorious life sithi ingawe lento yabona nje nanokuthi amandla akuwe take back your power and don't delegate anything else komunye umuntu. Don't give anybody else your responsibility to live your life and how to feel and how to yabona nje as ukuthi you are responsible for your life egameni lika Jesus. Njengoba ngithembisile ukuthi today we're going to speak about difficult conversations, but we just decided namhlanje ukuthi before to realize that difficult conversation has already been covered through our boundaries. Njengoba sasikhulumile last time but ke ukuze mhlambe sinikhumbuze kancane ukuthi what is it that we're talking about. We're just going to flood through it ukuthi you know what, when you want to confront something it's important to put boundaries, and also it's important when you're confronting wenza lezi zinto lezilandelayo ukuthi you must tools. Number 1, make it easy to talk with someone, make it safe for that person you are confronting. That is, you must also listen. Tool number 2, you must listen. Kungabi ngawe kuphela ukuzokhuluma but also give an opportunity yokuthi lo umuntu naye akwazi ukuthi akhulume indaba yakhe, because every time mangabe kukhulunywa there are two sides of the story. When we are confronting someone, by the way sisikhulume ngale ndaba is because ubaba uNene had asked us ukuthi sikhulume about women who are arrogant and not respecting their husbands. Ukuthi you know what, this person who's regarded as arrogant also has a valid point why she's doing what she's doing, and it is important that you as a person who feels was being offended, that you give that person an ear and listen with authenticity and listen without interrupting ukuthi uthini, and also understand ukuthi yini la ishoyo. Tool number 3 yokuthi adopt the yes and the yes and stance. Okay, so the essence of the yes and concept is to validate that both your views of the situation and that of the other person have value, and you do not have to choose which one is right, of which that one is very difficult, because when we talk about ourselves and feeling our pain is that we are right and you are wrong, you are my enemy, I don't like you, I want to hate you, I want to feel the pain, I want you to feel the pain that I'm feeling. But it shouldn't be like that. When we confront somebody, it shouldn't be what we want to bash them down and then we want to cause them pain, but it should be about restoring a relationship, and also go to a point where we feel, look, I love you so much and I want this thing to work. And then tool number 4 will be listen to recognize your story to separate impact and intent. So what does that mean? Okay, we tell ourselves stories when we add meaning to another's behavior without checking if our conclusions are right. We spoke about this. When you see somebody a withdrawer, then you will say we are withdrawal and no usacabanga lento ishoyo. So now we tend to give meaning to a behavior of somebody instead of allowing them to tell us ukuthi what is that behavior all about. We can use the I statement as we discussed later. When you are quiet manje, I feel like you are withdrawing. What is it happening? And then you give an opportunity to that person ukuthi explain ukuthi behavior yakhe imayelana nani, and also believe that person when they tell you what the behavior is all about, then to assume your own conclusion and think that your own conclusions are right without wanting to listen to the other person of what he or she wants to say. This needs to be practice. And once you get the hang of it, also have patience. Yokuthi laba abanye phela abayifundanga lento wena usuyifundile, abayi understand lento usuyi-understanda. So iba ne patience ukuthi phela ubafundise nabo, noma walk with them, along with them, so that they will understand and also understand ukuthi bona basangaqhubeka benza amaphutha nawo kade wenza ngenxa ukuthi they don't have the information that you have. Okay, and then masakuba impact tool number 5, use the I messages. We did cover that. Also, to make the story about you, not necessarily about that person. Don't play the blame game. Number 6, to focus on contribution, not blame. When you make another person as if we are born when it's your fault, you are bad, you are useless, then there's nothing that you're going to get out a constructive from that confrontation while you are having those difficult conversation. But make sure that you are contributor. When we say contributing, it means make sure that whatever conversation that you are having is constructive. Amen. So before you jump into a difficult conversation, spend some private time to identify the difficulty and acknowledge different points of view. We did discuss that. And then we say, be certain this is a conversation that is worth having. Sometimes into that you can decide, because you know what, let us let this thing go. It's not important. And when you teach yourself to let go, it becomes easier. As into they don't even need to be discussed. That is why in my meditation that I created, I have a place where I say there are things that I don't need to say, that I feel I should have said, but I'm letting them go because they are in the past. Then I know starting from now, whatever I say has value, and whatever I say, understand that I have the ability to communicate and express myself. And when we place ourselves in that mode, in that stand, then whenever you have to speak, people will understand you and you will be clear going forward. So let go. Amen. Okay, another thing, invite the other person to talk with you. Emphasize your interest in working well together. Start the conversation by seeking first to understand, then to be understood, and then you know what? Seek to understand. Let me understand you first. Now understand. We discussed that in so much land. Instead of just say hear me, I don't care about hearing you. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. That is why we have what we have. Even in nations, if they were applying this, ngabe sinabamazwe afuna ukubombana, afuna ukulimazana, ukuqedana, ngabe sinabantu even na Israel njoba kwenzeka lento eyenzakalayo ukuthi ba understand ukuthi as much as Israel is the chosen nation, but these are the people. Even God, when he was speaking to Ishmael, he said to Hagar, hamba ohlala laphana. Yesu lokhuza uSara uqoshile, but mina ngoba uyingane kaAbraham ungowami, so ke ngizoprovide ngamanzi. God provided Ishmael, but people are failing to understand that. They are failing. We are being driven by fear as much as anything else. But imagine a world that has no fear, where people are understanding each other. But sisifinyelela kanjani lapho ngoba abanye babo abantu baphile emazweni lakuliwa khona for a long time. It's like bekuyaliwa ever since they were born. It's like the only thing that they know ukuthi kuthatha izinto ngendluzula. But I guess yamkhola uNkulunkulu ukuthi usikhulumile ngesikhathi sokuthula about 1000 years wokuthula ukuthi leso sikhathi sizofika, and we are going to experience it. Okay, and then share your own point of views, your intention. Point of views, your intention and your feelings. Okay, talk about the future and what can happen differently, so that you don't end up in the same place, and then thank the other person for allowing you ukuthi nikhulume naye. Okay, the core here was when you're having a difficult conversation, taking the example kababu unene ukuthi you could feel ukuthi this was a sensitive issue enhlizweni yakhe, but when he has to confront, or that person he was talking about maybe on behalf, if they have to confront the other person that they were complaining about, they need to understand what they want to build la is not necessarily to demolish lo munye umuntu just because wenza mistake or behavior ngendlela yena believe ukuthi i wrong. Another thing, abanye abantu ba behave ngalendlela ba behave ngayo ingenxa ukuthi bakhuliswe kanjalo, abanye is because of ama fears abanawo. Just had a conversation nje nomunye untombazane ethi ukhule ekhaya every day ubaba eshaya umama, every day until umama naye wazwafunda naye funa le ashaye, so ukhule ekhaya kushawana, and uthi my express uthi ngine anger ungayazi and ngibe ne anger destructive because this person only knows anger, only knows ama outburst, akakwazi okunye. So now when she needs to learn something new, which by default we are created ukuthi sibe abantu aba enjoyayo, like who are built for love, built for joy, for peace, we are built for those things by default. But when a person gets born and then learns that, they tend to follow that behavior. I remember there is this scientist that I like so much. He was talking about when we experiment where amachwane nkukhu athi mayizalwa, amachwane nkukhu tend to imitate whatever they see when they are born. Then if umama eseduzane azolandela umama la eyanga khona, uma ngabe ezalwa abona umuntu azotend to follow umuntu lo ambonile ngesikhathi kade ezalwa. Then ukuthi then they were doing this experiment ukuthi i-robot kwenziwe i-robot athi mayizalwa la machwane lawa, then i-robot belokhu lihamba uzigzag yabo kule ndawo le, amachwane abona le robot alandela lona nje lokho ehamba ne robot. But what is amazing is that bathe masebewasusa amachwane bawayisa kwi cage bahlalisa khona, ukukhala kwamachwane kwaphazamisa ukuhamba we robot. I-robot lagcina selingasakwazi ukuhamba ngozigzag, lagcina seliza ngala amachwane khona. Bethi imagine ukuthi the unity yamachwane no attach kwawo robotini was able to influence i-robot. But they just cannot explain that. But what they can explain ukuthi kunokuxhumana, like there is this electromagnetic that exists even in entweni iphilayo. Everything that lives has an electromagnetic presence that we carry. Okay, so now when somebody is born in a toxic family or involved in a toxic relationship, that's the only thing they know until they decide to behave differently or become somebody else, but transform. That is the only thing they know. That is why we always say, even akubantu abasaza ufuna ukushada, ukuthi don't only be attracted by shape yomzimba womuntu, bheka phela ne behavior yakhe, bheka phela ukuthi reacta kanjani, may reacta nezimo, bheka phela ukuthi ubuka kanjani, my perception yakhe. Because another thing, when we are in relationship with people, we tend to believe that people will see things that we see, but we don't have the same information, we have not been shaped by the same things, we are born even ama characters to our fan masekuba khona lento lesengikhohliwe igama layo temperament, ukuthi indlela esizalwe ngayo like in nature yomuntu, khona ozalwayo abe loud, abe extrovert, khona ozalwayo abe introvert, omunye abe slow. Those are temperament, izinto ozalwa nazo. Mase kuba khona okunyo influence ukuthi uthema uzalwa waso influence wayini ekwi environment yakho to shape you, you know what, asifani. So but human nature tends to think ukuthi wonke umuntu ufuna laqabange njengawo, but once we can receive that and allow it to be engraved in our spirit and our soul and our mind, ukuthi no other person will see things like you. Maybe we can agree on some things, but not everything. everything egameni lika Jesu. So once we allow that, we will allow people to be themselves, and when people are expressing themselves, we will have this, okay, I'm right, and now right laukon. I love it when I talk about perception ukuthi kwabe ku 6 la phansi, wow 6 according to umuntu ukuthi umiphi lo some on the other direction, opposite direction wayibonela 9 yabona. Do you think those people are wrong? Both they are right, standing where they are standing. When I realized that, and when I was exercising that internally, of which takes us to a self-talk and a monologue, the things that we say ourselves to ourselves. When I thought about that and started telling myself and having this self-talk with myself, nothing I understand is, oh, okay, it's okay. When people don't see things like me, it's okay. If this person say this is a 6, when I see a 9, let me go and stand where they are standing. Probably I will also see, I will also see nami u6. If ngingekho arrogant, nginga drive by ego yokuthi it me and me alone, and if into issue imina, then you're right. There are people who are like that, unfortunately, that will never bend. Even no matter where wrong, they will never apologize because they are driven by whatever that's driving them. And then now let us go to self-talk here. In terms of what lana when it comes to difficult conversation, ukuthi practice taking incwadi boundaries, and also from that book of Boundaries by John Townsend and Henry Cloud. They also wrote a book by Difficult Conversation, which was born from Ama Boundaries, that tells you to finally when you're dealing with Ama conversation not difficult. Same people. Go and study those books, and then don't rush anyway and apply them in influence it. If maybe you are not the reading type, we are here to help you. By the way, I am a professional life coach. I can coach you. If you want to find out more information, you can just contact me or maybe DM la kuka radio and ask for a coaching session. Then we'll be able to sit walk with you, and we'll give you more information about ama cost of ama sessions. Amen. So let's just talk about self-talk. Self-talking is the voice that speaks inside you. I don't think there is ever a time where this voice does not exist in your mind, because this voice, even normal quiet, it speaks inside just to give the mind that meaning. What is it that is happening in the environment? So now most people they tend to have this negative voice that speaks inside them. Depressed. Recently somebody just wrote to me and say, I'm so depressed because there is a voice inside me that says I'm good for nothing, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, and obviously this person is not feeling well, and she's feeling like giving up, and things are not working well in Piliniaki. So it's self-talk. When we call it, we also call it, Enko was just sharing with me, with self-talk is also called a monologue, where you are able to talk with yourself and talk sense with yourself and ask yourself, why is Dr.Thabisile behaving the way she's behaving? Why is she thinking the way she is thinking? Why are you so angry, Manji? Like for instance, when we are talking about this issue which brought us here, you would say this here is a wife, she is misbehaving, she's arrogant, she is masculine. And then when as umuntu Lisa, maybe you are angry, now so decide to go to your work, ask yourself, why are you behaving like that? Okay, no wife now we can ask her, you know what, let her ask herself, why am I behaving like this? Why am I aggressive? Why am I easily irritated, easily reactive? Once you ask yourself those questions, Ingondo tends to take whatever questions that you are asking and then work on them to give you an answer. That is why it's important also you don't just ask yourself questions that you're not ready to be manifested. the other time we asked ourselves no baba ukuthi we wonder ukuthi abantu mabesebhokisini lela senkantolo kufila kanjani ukuba lapha yad. We were just watching a movie, if I'm not mistaken, kukhuluma umuntu or kwakuyindaba umuntu esebhokisini, and we had that conversation, not realizing that with us asking that question, our mind and our spirits and the universe just get to work, because we didn't say ukuthi siyadlala, just got to work ukuthi le umbuzo wethu wenze njani ufuleke futhi uphenduleke. All of a sudden sangenelwa igebengu zabanjwe igebengu sayithola sesimi ebhokisini lasenkantolo sase siyezwa ukuthi kunjani ukuma ebhokisini lasenkantolo. But at that time sase sesikhohliwe sakhumbula late ukuthi oh konje sake sabuza umbuzo njalo kanjalo ke nawe ke we need to ask yourself the right question when you are talking to yourself. And also another thing that you need to do is to pay attention to this critical voice that pulls you down, and also work on create another self-talk that is going to be more powerful than this voice. Yes, iqiniso lokuthi uma ngabe you've been so much critical in your life in terms of angilutho, I'm a failure, izinto zami ayilungi, ngiyabheda, uNkulunkulu akanandaba nami. Sometimes lezo zinto awuzisho nabantu but uyazisho ngaphakathi kuwena, yabona, why mina ngimubi, angithandeki, angikho interesting. Zonke lezo zinto lezo, they are destroying you, and if you keep them running, they are going to take you into the grave. So now that's not what you want. They are going to make your life miserable. They are going to make you feel stuck, and most people, they are blaming environment and circumstances, not realizing they are the one who are causing impilo zabo ukuthi zibe njalo. So now if you are paying attention to that negative inner voice that is speaking with you, create manje another voice that is going to bring a focus and a stability phezu kwempilo yakho. Maybe by starting by saying, challenging those statements that are being, questioning those statements that are being spoken by critical voice within you. Jokuthi nje anginto yalutho, then buzo masuyibuzo really anginto yalutho, because it's not you who's saying that, it's just the voice of an enemy, and you just need to not agree with that voice. It's really, but mina what I know is that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and uNkulunkulu necebo ngempilo yami. Kungamnyama manje, but my story, this is not what I'm saying. My story is not what I'm saying right now. My story is 1 2 3 4. Mase siyasazi istory sakho, usisho ke nestory sakho nento ofuna ukuthi yenzeke empilweni yakho, because everybody who exists emhlabeni une desire, unamaphupho onawo. Wakhulume kamaphupho akho, wakhulume ukuze uoppose le voice ekhuluma ngaphakathi kuwena. And also another thing that you can do is to create a slogan that will work, especially I cover lento last week ukuthi when you have a slogan, my slogan these days, city, life is beautiful, life is great, life is great, and life is beautiful. That is what I say most of the time during the day, as even when ngifuna ukuphefumula and I want to sigh, that is what I say. But it wasn't a slogan, I wasn't using the slogan before. Esinye bengisebenzisa ngithi konke kusebenzelana kube ukuhle. Okay, then there was a time when I would say that when I feel like I'm feeling discouraged or kunaleyo voice le ezongibuza imbuzo ngibe ngazi ukuthi izongidiscourage, and then I will say all works for good. Yabon, all works for good to those who are called for God's purpose. I may not understand what is happening right now, but everything works good for good. And there was a point, a time la ngisebenzisa khona islogan esithi okuhle nomusa ke ngilandela imihla yonke yokuphila kwami. And at the time ilanga ngidila khona nomoya wokufa la uthola ukuthi kukhona ivoice ethi ngizofa. Yabona nje, it's like my life is going to be short, and then I will say, you know what, okuhle nomusa ke ngilandela imihla yonke yokuphila kwami. And when I say that, I already know ukuthi lelo zwi lelo likerishani. When I'm saying it, I'm just saying a sentence, but I know it means my life is long. It means everything good is coming into my life. It means I'm favored. It means my life is beautiful. Until I transitioned ngempela njengoba manje sengithi ke my life is great and beautiful, because sengikuleyo ndawo where I can really say that. It wouldn't have helped me ukuthi ngalesa sikhathi ngideclare ngithi my life is great and my life is beautiful, ngibe ngingakuzwa ngaphakathi ngingavumelani. But make sure ukuthi when you are creating a slogan, it's a slogan that uplifts you in that moment. Don't say something that you do not believe, but say something that you believe. Okay. So and also is self-talk yako, like when we talk about the internal dialogue, the monologue that you speak to yourself, is also asking why am I behaving like this, the good and the bad. Okay, why am I thinking like this, the good and the bad? Why am I believing beliefs of which sometimes people believe in things that they don't know what bakholelwa. They are just driven autopilotically, on autopilot, being driven by my beliefs, and my beliefs are stuck and limited. Why am I feeling like I'm feeling? Like all of a sudden you're feeling sad, you're feeling depressed. Ask yourself, why are you Thabisile feeling like this? And then when you ask those questions, then you'll find the answer is uqhamuka, because ingqondo isihlale njalo curious and interested ukuthi ifune ukanswerisha ama questions or now. But when you're asking crappy questions like why bengangithandi, then ingqondo ayinayo answer yalokho ukuthi why bengakuthandi, nalokho izospina nje spin, and then masosuthola ukuthi so overworked because you are overthinking ngento engenayo answer. But maybe you can ask yourself ukuthi what can I do so that relationship yami naye lo muntu lo obungambuza lo mbuzo, obungazibuza wena lo mbuzo uthi why ngangithanda, what can I do so that our relationship can be in a good stand? Then you have given your mind an assignment to go and work with something rather than to ask bad questions that are going to make you to rotate in a cycle in an endless loop where you're going to end up being confused and depressed. Why am I talking about so share a point of view yakhe? Since he did research on this, I did love indagade chaza. Why we are encouraging you to have the self-talk is because sometimes as blame those are the things that we talked them to ourselves, and then must say a project like for instance you are the one who's saying that. You find the other person didn't say that. You just looked at their behavior or in their outside a way of doing things, and then you jumped into a conclusion. But you are the one who's saying that, but it feels easy when it's projected to somebody else. Now ask yourself, why am I saying that? What is it that I've seen lo muntu eyenza ukuze ngisho njalo? Another thing that is very helpful is when you're writing down, or when you write something down that you are telling to yourself. Sometimes when you elevate to writing down, you realize what's a crappy thing that I was thinking. It's not even real, it's a lie. Because when you have to write it down manje, then once you want, I was wasting my time because I can't even write it down. But it was just empowering that negative behavior just to think lento icabanga yiyona kanti ayikho. So eculweni ke manje by Queen of the Palace ethi ngiyakuthanda, and then emva kwalokho ku end kuzobe sesitshela ke iside lakhe, ngiyazi ngiyamhijack but ke mhlawumbe bezosuka ngibalekele, but azochaza indaba ye monologue in his perspective egameni lika Jesu.
Ngiyamthanda, son sami, ululiwa, 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 ulu
sisho njalo ku Queen of the Palace ngiyakuthanda sithanda sami umkhululi wami sokuphila phakade wami sinayi ku Encore lana ke I wanted ukuthi asichazele just his take on self-talk monologue being your best friend, because if you're not becoming your best friend and you want other people to understand you while you don't understand why you do the things that you do, it's not gonna work well. When I end collab.
Greetings to everyone who's watching and listening. And besichazile umama ukuthi I am Enko unhlakanipha Khumalo. Regards to the topic namhlanje in a monologue, it's actually having a long conversation with yourself, a conversation on knowing yourself, in terms of having questions within, like, why do I do this? What happens to me when I feel like this? Is it busy things most of the time in feeling kanje? Like, ngizengachaza earlier ukuthi I used to notice, I had to notice even if the bengakazi nginotice due to ukuthi mama spoke about ukuthi namhlanje is going to talk about having a difficult conversation. So a monologue helps you to discover yourself, knowing ukuthi njengoba sengila manje kusukela kephi. Ngize ngamenshina nokuthi mina radio, I was like radio because I remember on grade 2 when my class teacher Miss Oaks spoke about Ishmael Abrams, and ngasangathi mina she's nami ngizoba on radio because so ngaqala lapho ngalandela ukuthi there's something like this, I have radio but now I don't know where to start. It's a privilege because Dr. Suoane Msomi uhlezi esicabangela, so yeah, it came to that point ukuthi nami ngiwonke okay so njengoba ngenza radio izinto ezifana lezi, and it also comes to a point ukuthi la mhlawumbe umwenza khona izinto nawe unga expect ukuthi ungakwazi ukuzenza noma nezinto ongajwayele ukuzenza, like waking up in the morning ngithi mina okay ngine routine ukuthi mina ngijwayele ukwenza kanje, mangivuka ngixubha but angibele ngisuke ngivele ngixubha, but mengeke ngavuka nje ngavele ngaxubha ngingakenzi lutho, like kuzovele kuqhamuka indlela ngithi hawu yazi izinto ezifana lezi, so like
so uxubha wakho mangabe kuvele kwenzeka nje kusho ukuthi prophetic.
Ngize ngisho kanjalo because it just happens ukuthi yazi kuzovele kube khona indlela engade nga-expectile. So like having those questions when it's okay right now, njengoba ngifila kanje yiziphi izinto mina engijwayele ukuthi ngizenze ezingenza ukuthi ngifile kanje, like I know ukuthi mina every time mhlawumbe mase ku 6-7 sengiqeda ukugesa ngenze yonke into, I know ukuthi okay imood yami ngisetha kanjani, ngihlezi ngidlala igospel, it's should mina like ngi-creature noma ngizothi ngisidalwe esidalwe kanje, like lezi zinto lezi zikwazi like in a monologue help me to know ukuthi like when you're a person you need to know yourself, and you don't have to project yourself. It helps you to have a conversation. It's okay mina njengoba ngumuntu kanje ngenza ukuthi okay I understand ukuthi omunye umuntu uyathanda ukwenza into ethile, but lapho you're projecting yourself actually, because la ukhona it's because wena ula ukhona. So mina ngithathe ngayibuka ngaleyo ndlela, it's not like you're having bad conversation about yourself, zikhona izinto positive, but nakho kuba negative. I think mhlawumbe lokho kukusiza ukuguide ukuthi okay wena ama boundaries actually, wena uhamba ucine la kodwa uhamba ibanga elingaka.
But iqiniso Enko, most people like me as I do counseling,
right,
Sunday I was talking to people who have a negative dialogue inside them. Today I was receiving messages with people like having voices telling them what they are not good enough. So now when it seems like it's easy for you to have that directive voice that tells you it's okay, this is what I want to see in my life, But were you like that?
Like this way before? I don't think so, because nami ngeke ngabe umuntu othanda ukucabanga isikhathi esiningi, and sometimes it happens ukuthi ngicabanga ngibe negative ngibe positive ngesinye isikhathi, but khona la ngeke ngicabanga khona izinto okukhulume ngazo. Most of the time ukhuluma ngento ekwazi ukulula ingqondo yomuntu mangithi ukuyilula as in mhlambe when I talk uchephise more ukuthi uthatha le position awubuyeli so ngicabange about izinto okusifundise zona in such a way that I remember ngesinsikhathi uthi when you're in a bad situation it doesn't mean you should tell your mind what this is bad okay it is bad but think about something positive ngase gange kwi nightmare actually ngimangilele ngithi mina hibo but akumuveki akwenzeki lutho ngithi mina let me take this. So I thought of myself driving a fancy car that I did not even think of. So manje driving moto nje ngithi sengienjoy khamba ngayo sekumnandi vele ngiphaphama kodwa ngiphaphama ngisahambe ngithi how this thing works. So you see ukuthi
so how did you do that? Did you make up your mind before you fall asleep? Or see this is what you're going to do in the dream?
No, it actually when I was dreaming. So this thing happens and then manje akusamuveki. So mase ngasamuveki then ngaphuma la ekutheni ukuthi khona ngiyastrugglisha ngangena ngala engidrive khona imoto so mangidrive imoto ngiyazizwa sengibambekile but ngiyaphuma ngalapho ngifocusa ngala emotweni ngithe mase ngisemotweni sekumnandi sengithi I like this car sengiba advanced ngemoto ukuthi okay when you touch this happens yabo sengilapho ngiyaphaphama ngithi oh ilento le konje bengiphuma kulento njengoba ngena kulento so izinto efana lezo ukuthi njengoba kusho ukuthi a lot of people suffer from negativity so I think mabengalela kakhulu mama about what he used to tell us they can also learn from those things because I understand ukuthi umuntu umqondo wakhe ususafarisha with depression but at the same time it doesn't mean for ukuthi uphume enkingeni so evaluation ngelinye I don't believe in that because it doesn't work for me actually so I think ukululeka komqondo womuntu that what helps actually
yes and also what is very promising ukuthi ingqondo ngiyayithanda lento ukuthi okay abakubona abalaleli njengoba lapha thi ngiyakushutha la so postulate so if you don't to chepis ukuthi changes so nengqondo injalo there was a belief before in science ukuthi ingqondo once it damaged but they realized ukuthi ingqondo is plastic it's like you can change it to what you want it to be so those people who are negative if they can invest time to themselves rather than ukuthi bafune other people or other circumstances to come and change izimo zabo okay by committing mina I'm going to work on myself ingqondo adapts to what you do in terms by thinking ngisho njalo your thoughts the dialogue okhuluma ngayo it's actually a talk that changes your mind and the more you talk about izinto positive and also even noma isimo kusona si negative and affirm yourself and give yourself hope then ingqondo ibisiyashintsha over time
because I can tell about ingqondo ukuthi na ingqondo like I think uphethe umzimba because if ingqondo ikhathele nomzimba uyakhathala most of the time so about dealing nengqondo more especially because we can talk about the inner monologue but if ingqondo ilimele you don't have like ukuthi ukwazi process like ama meditations I used to attend obviously because I'm ngisebenza sometimes mawuthi relax touch this like there is something that happens like when you touch your mind like you feel relaxed so the more you relaxed like if you can teach yourself to think positive doing like investing on positivity as you're saying it's okay I'm thinking positive okay mangiswala like let me just start something new something fresh like let me change my routine on doing something good but at the end of the day mommy I think that's more important about ingqondo but I don't know when also but I was just highlighting about the inner monologue on my perspective.
Thank you so let us have a conversation with yourself before you go and confront anyone. Make sure the first person to confront is yourself. Not in a bad way, but would ask yourself, why are you doing the things that you're doing, saying the things that you're saying? Why are you behaving the way you are behaving? I just want to read something that I've just Googled and shared with me, the monologue thing. I'm hoping it will help you. Iti Lana. Okay, self-talk in a monologue. Okay, be your own best friend. What if we could change negative self-talk into positive self-talk? Do we have any skills that we can install and practice on us to learn the way to change our inner speech? Good news is a big yes. Self-talk, also known as an inner speech, inner discourse, or inner monologue. Self-talk is an endless stream that comes as automatic thoughts. Self-talk is very personal, one which may work for an individual or may not work for someone else. And self-talk changes from time to time. Okay, self-talk that motivates you in school days may not motivate you as an adult. Periodically, you need to update your self-talk. It's true, because what you can say today, kusasa akusegona lokusekufuna wenze into. Khona lento engiyibonile enkokuthi as ingqondo it gets familiar. Ungafika endaweni njengoba ngisho ukuthi upgrade ngaya ko gym emabhida. And the first time ngifike emabhida is like wow. But manje sengijwayele yabo, it's like I say on into wow manje sekufanele ngiexpose kwenye indawo enye engcono kunemabhida ukuze ingqondo yami yenze njani ibe inspired, ibe nalo wow owenzeka ngesikhathi kade ngifika okokuqala. So ingqondo iyajwayela. Please make sure that you stimulate ingqondo yakho in many ways. Even now with self-talk, you are to update self-talk yakho. Okay, self-talk is about the processing of daily experiences. The daily experiences that you are experiencing, you need to talk about them inside you and ask yourself questions. Self-talk determines your self-esteem, and the level of your self-esteem decides the way you handle stress in your life. Broadly, there are two types of self-talk: positive self-talk and negative self-talk. Basically, self-talk is any inner dialogue you have with yourself that may be limiting your ability to believe in yourself and your own ability and to reach your potential. It is any thought that diminishes your ability to make positive changes in your life and your confidence in yourself to do so. Like, no one likes me and I'm not good enough. So we discussed that. Those are the things most people say. Abang Tandi, angiko good enough. Positive self-talk is the motivational and instructional monologue that increases your self-esteem and drives you to make positive changes in your life. Like, I like me, I am enough, and I'm worthy too. Okay? Right, I think we will leave it at this. But please let us go and edit our self-talks before we can try and confront anybody else. Because if your self-talk is bad, that is how you're going to speak to other people, right? And yeah, so be kind to yourself. Even if you create some affirmations, even if you can listen to some affirmations, ulele akhona affirmations agcwele ku YouTube, wathathe uwadlale sekukhona noma YouTube downloader these days. You download that from YouTube and ukubeka eceleni kwakho kudlale even noma usulele. Your mind will take what you hear, because when you are asleep manje ingqondo yenze nje iba receptive. When you ama waves eseshintshile kuthiwa yini konje gamma waves or something like that. When you akuyona gamma wave, there is another wave. When you sukuleyo wave leyo, where your mind is like a mind of a child, where it accepts everything. We will talk about waves ngesinye isikhathi. When it accepts everything, so yonke lento ozobuyilalela ngaleso sikhathi leso izokwazi ukuthi yenze njani ingene kwi subconscious mind yakho and form ama behaviors amash. Let me give you an exercise that changed my life and saved me. Because nami bengine negative self-talk enzima kabi. Ngiwumama umfundisi Can you believe that? Ukuthi kukhona lezo zinto lezo ezi-negative engikhulumayo about myself. It's like I'm not good enough. Oh, uyabona njena umyeni wami yena obiziwe, uyena ucotshiwe, mina I'm not good as him. But iqiniso lokuthi vese we are not competing. I'm not competing with him, but I am who I am. And God expects me to radiate His glory through what He has created me to be. Okay, so do this exercise. First of all, you need to understand what is it that you want to change in empilweni yakho, or what is it that you want to achieve in your life. And when you're waking up, first 5 minutes, ingqondo yakho isukisa kuleyo wave le engisuke ngikhuluma ngayo. Let me check ukuthi ngizoyithola leyo wave lana. Ngivamise ukuba nawo la kwi-computer yami. Where are you? Okay, ngicela ningibekezelela kancane. Ngisithi ngizowathola yini. Right. Okay, khona ilo delta wave, okay? Ama waves anje khona beta wave. Beta wave is when somebody is overthinking. It's like your mind is all over. You're thinking about money, food, the problems. That is beta wave. And then mase kuba khona alpha, kuba khona theta, kuba khona delta, mase kuba khona gamma. Gamma is where you are sleeping, okay? Then delta nakhona ila theta, ngicanga theta ila kusuke ingqondo yakho iyamkela yonke into absorba njenge sponge. So when you are waking up in the morning, kulo first 5 minutes ila ingqondo yakho isa in between ukuzela kanye nokuvuka, and that window is very important because ingqondo yakho can absorb most things lapho ngaleso sikhathi. That is why enko ukuthi mawuvuka ekseni ulalela iculo ngaleso sikhathi, iculo lihamba nawe usuku lonke. Because that is where you are. Your mind is like a sponge, is absorbing everything. So let us take advantage of that 5 minutes. When you wake up, maybe sit up in your bed. What meaning when I wake up, I go to the toilet because I don't want to vusuba bang. Vuka ngami toilet ngibese ngisayikhulula yabo, and then sele 5 minutes. What do? I just decide, okay, what is it that I want to achieve? Okay, I want to be more organized. I want to be organized and be on time. Let's say this is what we want to do. Then okay, what does it mean ungabi corner on time and to be disorganized? What pain does that causes you? Think about that pain. Think about when you are late, what does that do to you, how it makes you feel, and make that picture we experience it, and then take that picture and then minimize it. It's like screen, minimize it and make it small and push it to the right, and then bring the picture that you want to see in your mind. Bring the picture that you want to see, and then like you are organized, you are on time, and you blow it out and make it big and you make it colorful and you feel the emotion. You see, you know what, I feel good when I'm organized and when I am on time, right? And then you have that picture. Cool. But before that, I want you, before you create those pictures, I want you to, okay, now you're sitting up and then you count from hundreds. 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, 94, 93, 92, 91, 80, 81, and then uzuzuyofika ku 0. And then once you get from 100 to 0, and then you see this picture that you don't like, you minimize it, and then you push it to the right, and then you bring the one that you like, and then you broadcast it. You use a big screen, and you see it is clear. Ungayenzi besendaweni, mhlawumbe ungayenzi ukuthi mhlawumbe ngise airport, yenze kube indawo general, like no place, but uyibone the thing that you want to see ngempilo yakho, yeah. Like ungayenzi ibe in a particular place, okay, and then you see that, you make it big and it's colorful, you feel the emotions. This is how I'm going to feel when I'm organized in our own time, and then you experience that, and then do it for 21 days. Do that. It might not be intayoto, it could be different things, but I would say for you, just do one thing that you want to change in your subconscious mind. Do it every day for 21 days. Voila, I'm telling you, you're going to be amazed. I told that to one of the youngsters. Actually, if I status some go to use your 5 minutes wisely. As and then one person responded and asked me, and then she came back and wrote to me with my life has changed drastically. Wapasa even like the funda corner so I was able to concentrate, and it's like I was in the zone because I did what you told me to do. So if you can do this, please give me feedback. How did it work for you? But for me, it changed my life. It transformed me. It's like I even do it with my kids. But you know what? When I do this, I know I've conquered the day. And the day is going to be what I want it to be. Yes, I can't control what is outside. But for sure, you are in control of me. Yes, sometimes I feel down, but it's okay. It's part of life. I don't stress about that anymore. Sometimes I'm tired, but I don't stress about that. I keep on doing what I need to do. Let's go and work on our self-talk. Another thing, key, meditation. I teach you meditation on Friday. It worked for me, and in meditation, I can't stress it enough. Meditation. I'm just going to take to another level, but I cannot take it to another level where le ingaka masterishwa. So sizohlalalana until izibe perfect. What else I'm working on? Ekteni sisibe no 21 days of meditation. Those who want to join me soon, I'll be announcing a day where we're going to meet in the morning. Ngisazo wake out where there's 4 no more 5 in. We all join on Facebook or maybe Google Room, and then we just meditate and see after 21 days ukuthi kuzobe kwenzakala. Especially those people who are struggling with negative self-talk, we need to silence that voice and allow the voice of God to be the one that is speaking inside us and give us a direction. Actually, the Holy Spirit is there, but too many people, they quench the Holy Spirit and the other voice is speaking, and we don't want that. Sifuna ukubonakala igeneration esaba uNkulunkulu izalwa noma ivuka kulezi ikhathi zensuku zokugcina. So uNkulunkulu anibusise. It's been a joy talking to you. Thank you, Onko, for talking with us. So iposta ke video yakhe kabathanda ukubona ngubani lona, the man that is behind ubengekaza kwazi ukuzangalana since he's doing the work on the other side. But we are so grateful, and the Lord is good. I'm excited about life, and I'm saying it is well with my soul. uNkulunkulu anigcine. Sibonge ke nakade besibambelile before us unoqolo. Sibonga kakhulu Ntombazane yami, sibambele kahle. Anganomyezo bekhona? No, Pastor Miyezuza kusasa, and siyabonga futhi nakumbodla okade sibongelele isibambelele ekseni. Then siyazi ukuthi emva kwami uyezwe intombi yezwi. We just want to say we welcome her. Emva kwamanje ke sizobe sesiyezwini lenkosi. It's been a wonderful day. Tomorrow I'm not sure noma ngizobe ngikhona ngisase njoba ngangishilo, but we are having a lot of changes. Sizobona ukuthi kwenzakalani egameni lika Jesu. So watch the space, you will see as isubona. And another thing that we want to see just welcome things as they come. We don't predict we never predicted even the coronavirus, but it came. It's just that we need to bring ourselves to a place of resilience where you say, come what may, we are ready to handle whatever that comes to us. Love you, see you. Sizophuma ke la Queen of the Palace ethi ngiyayibona ngiyayizwa isifikile inkazimulo.